your Trader. It is Monday morning, so it is time to go to work. Okay, so we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at crude oil, and at natural gas. And then we're going to take a look here at the Nasdaq, the old NQ, the futures. And we'll see what's going on. Right now, it's down about 28, but we'll see how it all shakes out. Now, remember, there's a lot of earnings coming out this week here. You got Amazon and Meta and Microsoft and Apple. And then we have this CRK, which is Comstock Research. Resources. We'll take a look at that a little bit later here today. Okay, this video is for information purposes only. Recommendation to buy, sell any stock, bond, ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we have the old Bitcoin. Now you can see here we have a little bit lower low today, but we have this bottoming tail, and we're holding this key level right here. This is that 93,155 level. Now, if you watched my video last night, you'll notice that I pointed out that level, and then we want to look to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at that 91,785, and then this 8-day is going to be key at 90,924. Now, even if we get some sideways action and let that 8-day catch up, to cross over that 100-day, this is very, very bullish chart here, okay? So I've been pointing out here, left shoulder, okay, right shoulder, and head. So we have ourselves an inverse head and shoulders pattern here with a nice double bottom. And you can see once we got above that 8-day, look how nice we're rallying right up here nicely, okay? So today, what we're going to be watching is just watch that key level right there. That's going to be that 93,155 on a closing basis. That's what we're looking for. And then I say, if not, we'll just come to the bottom of that candle, that 91,785. But this 8-day is going to be very, very crucial at 90,924. Even if it comes down, sells down to it, as long as it holds like it has here in the past, this is still very, very bullish chart. Now, on the upside here, we're looking at that 76,780. Okay, that was Friday's high. Okay, so your next level that we're looking for is going to be right here. Is going to be this 98,990. Then we bring this price channel right across here. You're looking at 99,765 level. Okay, and then we just bring this the other channel right across. We just keep right on moving right on up. 100,765. We come up to the top of this candle right here. We're looking at 102,875. Then we can just start marching them right up. 104,920. We have 106,570. And then we come up here. We have 106,945. Now, when we get up to this area here, what we always want to do is look to the left of the chart. Okay, so that's 108,960. And then we have your big retest at 110. Now, these blue lines here, all these are is just price channels. And the reason I like the price channels is because all they are is just tops and bottoms of candles. Okay, very simple. Now you can use clouds, you can use Bollinger Bands, but I find out these are just way more accurate. And another thing I like about it is as it sells down, it leaves on the other side all your resistant levels going back up again here. So it's very, very handy. Just bring those levels across. Now, this inverse head and shoulders pattern, if you take from the neckline here down to the bottom, you look at about 14,000. So if you flip that over 14,000 from there, that's going to be about 105 here on the old Bitcoin. Okay, so IBIT, easy way to trade long. BITI, very easy way to trade short. Okay, now for the week, which would be Friday, so we got a ways away, we're looking at holding this 21-day, okay, that 93,306. That's going to be very, very key. Now, if you look at this 8-day, see how it came down, but now look how it's curving right back up again. That's very, very nice. The same way with the MACD, we can get that green across the red here. We get that RSI to move up, and we can come up here and probably retest that 110 over time. Not today, but over time. Okay, so we cracked that 110 area. Remember, you're looking at about 115, 120 area very, very easily. Now, you can see here where old Bitcoin's got the juice. Even though when we had this big sell-off in the market, yeah, it sold off, but it didn't really sell off that hard kind of a situation. So it's hanging in there very, very nicely. Now, your RSI is sitting at 64, plenty of room to twist right back up and go up. Your green over your red shows momentum to the upside. This is looking very, very nice. So what we want to watch, I say again, on the downside, is watch that key 100 estimate. That's 93,154 and that 90,915, which is your 8 estimate. On the upside, just watch Friday's high. That's going to be very, very key. At 96.78, we crack above it. We just follow them candles and the price channels right across. Nice. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil. Okay, here we have crude oil. Now you can see here we when you look at the big picture of this, okay, this is like a big bear flag situation, okay, where you come all the way on down here, and then we're trying to rise up slowly, and usually that falls right to the bottom. Now, that's big picture. However, there's a lot of stuff in play here on the crude oil. That's why I always like trading it. You don't have to really wait for earnings. It's always like in play, okay? So remember, OPEC this week will be dumping a lot of oil here every day, over 400 million barrels a day back on the market. Those are those volunteer cuts, okay? However, we also have summer driving, so that kind of negates a little bit of it, okay? And then going into hurricane season, end of August and into September here, so you got a long time. And if the war escalates or something like in Iran, then crude oil could come up nicely. However, on the downside there, you could look at the tariff situation. And the old T-man does not like high crude oil prices. Right now over here, where I am, I go to shop. I got one. I filled up with gas yesterday at Sam's. It's $2.69 a gallon. So very, very realistically, and that's where he likes it because he knows it's a tax on people. Okay, so we got to trade the charts. Okay, so what we have here, we have this 8-day moving on up here. So the 8-day is moving up. The 21-day and the 50-day is coming on the way down. So something's going to give here. Okay, so when we look at this, okay, let's take this candle. Where to go? Right into the 21-day. So far today, where to go? Right into the 21-day. Okay, so this is why you always want to just trade the charts. Now, if we can get above this key 63.88, which is your 21 SMA, okay, we'll come off top of this candle here, 63.78. We have 64.36. We'll come up top of there. You're looking at 64.87 level. And then we want to look to over here at the bottom of this candle, 65.22. Reason being is this is where it sold off to. Then we made that double bottom. Then she rose up nicely. So that is going to become resistance. So that's what you always want to watch, that 65.22. Then we'll come to the bottom of this candle here, 66.09. And then we're looking for that 66.68. That is your 50 estimate here. Again, if we can get above that, well, look how nice the targets are here. Okay, 69.47, 71.11 for your 200-day. And then we have your 72.28. Okay, so keep your charts simple. There's a zillion ways to set your charts up. I've been doing this for over 2 decades. You just want to keep things simple, okay? 8-day, 21-day, 50-day, 100-day, 200-day with price channels, okay? Volume, always want to put volume on there. And RSI is good because you can always see when you get an oversold condition or divergences, positive or negative. And MACD shows that momentum. When that green crosses over that red, that shows momentum there to the upside. Look at here like in the past, once it crossed that over that red, nice momentum there to the up. When it crosses below, that's momentum there to the downside. Okay, so on the downside here, what we're watching is always watch this 8-day, 62.94, because this is what we're trading between that 8-day and that 21-day at 63.88. Now, if that's lost, we're going to come right down to Friday's low we're looking at 61.80, and we'll come right to the bottom of this candle right here at that 61.53. Then we can just follow the candles down, 60.44. We have 59.43. We have 58.76. 57.88, and then your big retest at 55.12. So let's just see how this all shakes out. But when you look at the big picture here, this is a bear flag. Now, again, if we start breaking above the 21-day, start heading up towards that 50-day, well, that would negate that bear flag situation. Okay, take a look here now at natural gas. Okay, here we have the old natural gas. Now, it looks like, hey, natural gas is rallying up. Yes and no, okay? We had the contract roll starting yesterday, okay? So always remember that. So if you're trading these ETFs, okay, like I trade UNG for the long, KLD for the short, when you get the contract roll where this pops up, they're not going to pop up, okay? They're just basically just going to be trading as usual, okay? So UNG right now is up 5 cents, okay? So it's not going to pop up, okay, like what the actual commodity is going to do. Another thing about these ETFs here, especially when you get leveraged ones like a KOLD, UNG is 1-to-1, but KLD is 2-to-1. They rebalance at the end of the day, and they're really meant to go to zero. So these are just trading vehicles, okay? So just use it at that. Do not buy and hold kind of a situations. Okay, so let's look at the downside here. So what we're watching here is just going to be this 8-day, that's at 308, and then we have this 200-day sitting at 307. Now, the gap on this, if you look at today's low here, 311, and then we look at the top of that candle right there at 298. Your gap and your fill, that's going to become support if this does sell off, and then your retest out there, obviously, at 285, okay? Now, on the upside here, what we have so far today is we had 3.16 level, okay? So we just follow the candles. Okay, looking at 3.22 level. Okay, we'll come up here. We have 3.31, 3.33, and then we have 3.37 level, and then we'll come up here to that 21-day at 3.49. Okay, So you can see here how the 21-day now crossed the 50-day in a 100-day, and now she's sloping all the way on down. You're in a shoulder season here, so just remember that right now. But again, if we get a hot summer, okay, and you get this LNG rolling here, then possibly, you just never know that we can, take off and go much, much higher. Okay, so just be a little patient with it. But for me, this is just a trade in and out per day, long or short kind of a situation. So for today, just watch that 8-day, very, very key, that 200-day, then that gap and that fill. Upside, we follow the candles up, but your big target is going to be right there at that 3.49. If you get above that, 3.68, your 100-day, 3.84, that is your 50 SMA here. Now, you can see here we got the oversold condition. See why that green turns blue? Oversold condition. But again, we have that little pop-up. But again, this is contract roll here, so don't read anything into it. Okay, let's take a look here at the old Nasdaq futures, the old NQ. Okay, now here's the Nasdaq futures, the NQ. Now this is going to be in play here, big time, guys. Say we have that. What do we got here? Let me just check here. Okay, so you got Microsoft and Meta on 430. Okay, that's going to be huge. Apple and Amazon on 5-1. That's going to be huge. Okay, so we got a lot of big tech. We got the jobs number coming in this week here. You're going to have, once a month clears out, you're going to have the new car sales. There's going to be a lot of information. So you want to be really pinned at any kind of information that you have. Now, this is the TOS platform, and we get global news, and they're really, really good. But if you want a pay service, then is Benzinga Charlie. They used to have this on that TD Ameritrade. Benzinga, this guy is just off the hook. He'd give you information before the information is even out. So if you're looking for a pay service, Benzinga Charlie, this guy just kicks major ass. Okay, so let's just look at what we got here. Okay, so the future so far we have an inside day, but it's way early. Okay, so what we're looking at is Friday's high. You're looking at that 19,589 level, but realistically, this is your big target here. Is this 19,784? Then we want to see what the reaction is once we get there. Okay, so you can see here how this 21-day kind of really held everything right on down. Okay, so is the 50-day going to do the same thing, or is it going to blast through? Now, if it does blast through here, then we're going to be looking here to the top of this candle. You're looking at 20,011 area, and then we'll come up here, 20,044 area. We come up here at that 20,199, and then we have this 20,350. That is your 200-day. That's very, very going to be strong resistance, as you can see here in the past. Okay, so if we can get above that, then we come up to that 100-day at 20,691. But let's just see how this all shakes out. If it gets to that 50-day, let's see what the reaction is going to be. Now, remember, Google had really, really good numbers last week, and the stock didn't really rally up. Tesla had a disaster quarter, and it ran right up. So again, remember, it's not the news that matters. It's the reaction to it. That's the key. So what we're looking for is that 50-day on the upside here. Now, on the downside, we look for today's low here so far, 19,392. We'll look come to the bottom of this candle here, 19,261 here. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to start looking right to the thick of it at that 18,790. That's your 8-day. And then your 21-day at 18,731. But what I do like about this is that 8-day now crossed over that 21-day. That's always very good. So we can have some little sideways action here, before we rip up again. But again, if it gets to that 50-day, let's see what the reaction is going to be. Okay, so we got oversold conditions going on here that we had. Now we're rolling up here pretty nice. 53, plenty of room to run up or down. The green is over red. That shows good momentum. So overall here, this is a very, very good bullish pattern. But if you look at all the futures, whether it's a Dow or S&P or whatever, all these charts look exactly the same. Okay, but I like the Nasdaq because it's got the juice. Okay, I'll see you back here a little bit later here today. We'll probably do something like that, midday trading. And then obviously after the pick close, we always do Bitcoin, crude oil, natural gas, and then throw something else in the old mix. All right, remember, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.